welcome to STIFFTV. I am here with Oscar Raby. Raby? Raby. Oscar Raby. And he is one of the artists in the current New Media Film Festival here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. We're looking at different artists that represent the transmedia transition that STIFF is taking on for next year, and Oscar has a very, very interesting installation that uses virtual reality in telling his story. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, thanks Will for the invitation. And yeah, my piece is a documentary I made in virtual reality for my father, for virtual reality, and the piece is about my father. I indeed did it for him, but through him I'm trying to reach for a larger audience. My father was an army officer, part of the military dictatorship in Chile. So in 1973, he witnessed the mass execution of political prisoners, and that marked his life. We've been having a conversation for over 20 years about what he went through, what he felt, what he saw. And all that conversation has been put into this work. So I'm using virtual reality to put the user inside that imaginary space, the space that's the conversation between my father and me.
And what unique element of virtual reality are you using to tell this story? Like, there's a certain type of virtual reality device that's currently in beta stages, hasn't actually been released to the public yet, named the Oculus Rift. And can you tell us a little bit about how you decided to use the Oculus Rift to tell your story?
Sure. I was finishing my master's in interactive media. I had the story that I just described, simmering the back burner of my creative stove, and I was looking for a medium, looking for a platform to tell this story, something that had to do with first-person shooters, that genre, and somehow the witnessing capability of the user, putting the user in the space of an action, the space of a story. And while I was looking for that platform, someone brought in an Oculus Rift to the studio. And it just made sense, having the story that involves witnessing an event and a platform that's about staring at things and being connected to that environment, that virtual environment, through your vision, through your eyes, basically. It just clicked into place naturally.
Nice. And without actually having seen it, and we do actually have a clip, which we'll take a look at here in a moment, it's a completely immersive world. You can't see anything. There is no periphery, and you are in the shoes of Oscar's father, and almost reliving this experience that he had. I mean, really kind of reliving the experience that he had.
You could say that.
Yes. And there's narration, so Oscar is narrating the actual piece, but you're in the shoes of his father, witnessing this event of his life that changed not only your father's life, but yours as well.
Right, yes. What happens to that particular person that gets entangled in this traumatic event, traumatic for history and traumatic for his own persona? It's not just that person. That's kind of the message at the heart of this experience, is that beyond what you see, there are some actions that get attached to your participation. And they reach out to most likely your close ones, your family.
So Oscar, is this the first event? Is this the first show that you've actually shown Ascent at?
I've been showing it for the last 6 months,
Okay.
in different environments. I've tried new media art, games festivals, and documentary festivals, and somehow documentary has proven to be a very fertile ground. Lots of interest about the use of virtual reality for factual content.
And I think that makes sense, because when we go see a fictional narrative film, we expect to, I mean, we want to be able to relate with the characters, but we also know that it's a fiction. Whereas with documentary, we're oftentimes experiencing something that has happened or is happening. And virtual reality, I think, is a perfect tool to help tell that story. And I think you've done it to great success so far.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Oscar is actually going to be at IDFADOX in November in Amsterdam, correct? And Tim and I will be also traveling to Amsterdam, and so we're going to have a second chance to meet this delightful artist, and hopefully we'll see some progression in the work. Maybe something may have changed a little bit.
Yep.
We hear that there might be a second episode happening here, and we're very excited about that. So thank you for tuning in to STIFFTV once again. This is Oscar Raby. I knew I'd mess it up. And we'll see you on the next episode of STIFFTV. Thanks.
Hi Dad. I'm glad you could see this. I thought the instructions might have been a bit confusing, but here you are, so I guess it worked. I wanted to send you something real, and oddly enough, look what I came up with. Look around. If you stare at certain things for long enough, something happens. We're looking back to 1973. Right on this spot, you have just been notified of a court-martial taking place up the hill. But today, I want you to take the time you didn't take back then, and stay with me for a little longer.